Good evening, everyone. Is my voice audible? Thanks for confirming. Yesterday we completed our Power BI session. So today we are going to start with Tableau. So before starting with Tableau, I just wanted to check if there are any questions regarding Power BI. Let's clear out that. Then we will move on to the Tableau. If there are any questions, you can post it onto the chat. I will wait for next 2 minutes for the questions. If no questions, then we will start with our Tableau. Okay, I believe there are no questions. So let's start with Tableau first. So what is Tableau? Tableau is a BI tool as similar to Power BI. Tableau is also BI, but from a different, I can say a kind of a different product used for the BI tool. So Power BI is a part of Microsoft, whereas Tableau is a part of now Salesforce. Earlier Tableau itself was a organization. Now I believe it's taken over by Salesforce. So before Power BI, there were many BI tools. Like there were MicroStrategy, there were some SSRS reporting, Python R visualization was also there. But this Tableau, it's like penetrated the market and created a disruption because the other BI tools were very difficult to use. They were not user friendly. The other tools are not user friendly, but this particular Tableau is very user friendly. Now, if you see as well, it's very user friendly as compared to Power BI. The only reason now Power BI is capturing the market is the cost. The cost of Tableau, it's around 1 lakh rupees. It's more than 1 lakh rupees per month. Not per month, per user per year. 1 lakh rupees per user per year. Whereas if you see Power BI, it's hardly $10 per month, which comes to around 10,000 rupees per user per month. That also you get a lot of functionalities and many features are. So that's the reason, one of the major reason why Power BI penetrated the market and it has become the market. So Tableau is nothing but a kind of a BI tool. The same functionality of Power BI, we use Power BI to data visualization, analytics and everything. Similar Tableau also we use for BI, but it's a different tool altogether. What is Tableau? Tableau is a leading, as I told, is a leading data visualization tool used for data analysis and business intelligence. It helps in creating charts and dashboards to take the insights out of the source data. The primary reason for using a BI tool is get insights from the source data, right? So that's a primary in kind of use of a BI. So can you say this is a kind of a sample dashboard which has been prepared in Tableau. So here we can see what is the forecast and what is the prior percentage. We can see different kind of visuals over here. So you can see a line graph and so on. We can build a dashboard like this in Tableau. Moving on. Data visualization. What is data visualization? Data visualization is graphical representation of information and data. If you present the data in rows and columns, nobody will be interested in it. If you present it, we summarize the data. For example, when let's say a manager asks what is the sales for today. And if you give list of orders to him in an Excel file or a text file or anything, then he will say, I asked you what is the total sales. I haven't asked for the data. So your answer should be the total sales is X amount. That should be the answer. But if you say the total amount is X amount, which is greater than the yesterday's amount by so and so rupees, and in percentage, we sold 20% more than yesterday. If you give a information like this, that also in the form of graphical information, then it will be very useful to him to understand the data. So that's where data visualization comes into the picture. By using visual elements like charts, graphs, maps, visualization tools provide an accessible way to see and understand trends, outliers, and patterns. What is outlier? For example, all the system data is entered by a human, right? All the data is entered by the human. For example, let's say a person purchased a product for 1,000 rupees. By mistakenly, he has put in the database while putting the information in the database, he might have put the order value as 1 crore rupees, which is the correct outlier, right? So we need to remove this outlier from the data so that you get a proper result in the visualization. What happens if I put that 1 crore into the data? Okay, let's say I have the normal order value is around 100 to 200, but when I put let's say 1,000 to 2,000, but if I put 1 crore into the data, the average sales value shoots up, right? Because that is the outlier. So it always disturbs your data. So it's always necessary to find the outliers and remove it, or identify and report it so that it gets rectified, and identify the patterns in data. For example, if you see the sweet shops has a good amount of sales during Diwali, right? So this is a pattern. If you understand and interpret this pattern, then you can easily keep your inventory in stock. Last Diwali, we sold this much amount. Okay. Last Diwali, we sold this much amount of this particular switch. So this year I need to keep more than 10%. This year I need to keep more than 10%. So it helps to understand and interact with the data in a better manner. So BI tool normally helps you in understand the data and interpret the data in a very better manner. Any queries till now? Okay. So now understand, what are the products of Tableau. First is a Tableau desktop, which is, I can say, a developer's tool where you prepare the dashboard, storage, and everything. Tableau desktop is nothing but where you develop the visualization. Similarly, you have Power BI desktop. In Tableau, it's called as a Tableau desktop where you prepare the visualizations, analytics, and everything. Tableau server. The Power BI service is in, we upload the Power BI to the server. Here we have a Tableau server where we can publish our reports and share with the users, right? Then other is the one more inbuilt or the in-premise cloud platform. For example, you want the servers to be installed in your organization itself. The server should be installed in your organization. That is called a cloud premium server where you publish and share in your organization server. The next one is a Tableau prep. In Power BI, what was the ETL tool? It was Power Query, right? In Power BI, the Power Query was the ETL tool. In Tableau, there is a ETL tool called Tableau prep, where we can do the data cleansing, all the ETL activities. And there is one more thing in Tableau, that is Tableau Reader. So this Tableau reader is as similar as the Tableau desktop. The only difference is you cannot edit anything. You can just read it. You can just read the dashboard. That's the reason it is called as a Tableau reader. Tableau reader means you can just read the dashboard. You cannot do any edit, any transformation or anything in the data. It's just you have the reader access. Any queries till now? How many products of Tableau we have? 5. Broadly, we can say 4 because Tableau server and Tableau cloud platform are just a difference where the server lies. So on a broader level, there are 4 uh, different Tableau services. Okay, we missed the one that is Tableau Public, which you are going to use. Tableau Public is nothing but it's very similar to Tableau Desktop. It's very similar to Tableau Desktop. Apart from few minor functionalities, it's very similar to Tableau Desktop. Only thing is you cannot save that particular dashboard onto your desktop. You need to save it on Tableau server, public server, where it can be accessed by any of the people. Your report will be published and can be viewed by many of the users. That means your data is not private. It's going to the public domain. That's the reason it's called as a Tableau Public. Tableau Public is not meant for the organization use or the professional use. It's just meant for the training. So all the data which you use in Tableau Public will go on to the public server. The data is not secure. Difference between Tableau and Power BI. So both are same thing, I can say. Both are doing the same work. The way we use it is different. The user friendliness is different. Cost is different. The UI of Power BI is different. So both the tools are data visualization tool. As on my experience, I feel Tableau is much easier than using Power BI because Power BI for simple calculations also I need to write tax, which is very complex. Whereas in Tableau, the calculations are simple. Also, the UI, I feel that Tableau is better than Power BI. But the functionalities or the powerfulness, I feel Power BI is slightly better than Tableau. So there are not much differences in terms of usability, but that's the difference on UI and the other stuff. Can we use Tableau in phone? Yes, you can use Tableau in phone. You can view the Tableau files in the phone. You cannot create anything, you can view it. The UI Tableau is better than Power BI or not? Yes, the UI, from my experience, my point of view, I feel Tableau UI is much better than Power BI, but it might be different for different people. Any other questions? Let me look into the chat box. Have I missed anything? Difference between Tableau and Power BI? Can we use Tableau in phone? Yes. UI Tableau is better than Power BI. I feel it's better than Power BI. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. How to get Tableau desktop? I will tell you how to download it. You won't get Tableau desktop unless because Tableau desktop it's not free to use. You can have a trial license for 14 days, but for this we will use Tableau Public itself. Tableau desktop is a premium professional version where you need to pay around 1.25 lakh rupees per user. So can we use a crack version of Tableau? I don't think so. It's available any crack version of Tableau. If it's available on your own risk, you can do it. I cannot comment on that, but my recommendation is never use a crack version. You don't know whether your data is getting leaked or something. It's up to your own decision. For student, there is some offer. Yes, for student, if you have student ID, you need to do some registration as a student. If Tableau approves, you get a free license for 1 year. Yeah, there is a offer for student as well. You get a free license for 1 year. 1 year free license. If you have the student email ID, you need to give the admission form or something. You need to give your iCard. There are some ways to get the student license. If you have, but that is a of I can say a provision getting a student license for Tableau. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Yes, as I told you, Tableau desktop is split into two. One is Tableau professional. The other is a Tableau public. Tableau professional, you have two things. One is 14 days free, a trial version. The other is a student version, which is 1 year. This 14 days free trial will work for 14 days. After that, they will ask for the subscription, which cost you more than a lakh rupees per year. The other one is a Tableau public. The only difference is there are some minor differences as well. You cannot connect to the data source like SQL and so on. All the data sources are not supported in Tableau public, but the one major difference between Tableau public and Tableau desktop is the data which you save in Tableau public goes to the public server. The data is not secure. That's a major difference between Tableau professional and Tableau public. And if you want to share your dashboard, then the online is the public server is the only way you can share the Tableau dashboards to your friends or the any recruiter or someone like that. How much it costs? So I know I was using Tableau 2 years back. It was like 3 to 4 years back. So it was costing around 1.25 lakh rupees per user per year. Now, because it's now the competition is more, the cost might be lesser than what I told, but it will be something around 1 lakh rupees per user. Always the price changes for different organizations. They give the bundle offer and all. But if you go for, if you want to buy it, it will cost you more than a lakh rupees. That's for sure as an individual. But when the corporate goes, they might give the good amount of discount in the bulk order. Any queries on Tableau desktop and Tableau public? If no, then let's move on to the next slide. Tableau professional 14 days free, student version 1 year free. Tableau public, it's free forever because the data is going to the public. You cannot use for the professional work. You cannot use Tableau public for the professional works. You can just use it for your personal things. Tableau workbook. Tableau workbook is a TWB. So when you send it in Tableau, where it is used. Tableau is a BI tool. The way you use Power BI, some people use Tableau. Some people use Power BI, some people use Tableau, some people use Looker, some people use the Google Analytics, and so on. Many of the organizations use Tableau as well. Some organizations, like if you see the industry, few organizations use Power BI, few organizations use Tableau. Some of them use Google Analytics. Some of them use the R and Python visualization. Some of them may use Looker or something like that. It's depend upon the organization to organization. It's similar to that. We use let's say refrigerator in our house. Somebody use LG, somebody use Samsung, somebody use the other brands, right? Similarly, but all the refrigerator are doing the same work. The functionalities and features might be different, but the end work is same. Keeping these stuffs in a cooled place, preserving it for a longer time. Similarly, that's what Tableau and Power BI is. Some organizations use Tableau for visualization, some use Power BI for visualization, some other use the other tools available in the market. Okay, Tableau. The first is a Tableau workbook, which is .twb. Here, only your Tableau dashboard you can send it to the sender. Tableau file you can send it to the sender, but the source data, the backend data, the backend source data doesn't get sent to the sender. How the sender reads this particular Tableau workbook? If he doesn't have the professional license, can anybody tell me? If I send my Tableau workbook to a person, let's say XYZ person, he doesn't have a Tableau professional license, then how we can view this particular dashboard? We have seen in our earlier slides. Public Tableau, no. You cannot use public Tableau. For example, work in an organization, I prepared some dashboard, I send it to my manager in the TWB file or TWX file, anything. So in order to, he can view this particular dashboard. What is the product available? Yes, Tableau Reader, that's the one. Tableau Reader are the one which he can use for reading the Tableau files. It's only meant for reading. Okay. The other format is TW, the Tableau package workbook, which is TWBX file. Here, a single zip file containing a workbook, that is your Tableau workbook, along with supporting local data file and background image. So when you send TWBX file, it has the local file, that is the data, which is in the Tableau stored format. Tableau compressed file format, the backend data will be stored. And also the images. For example, yesterday we used the images for logo, right? If you use such kind of images in your Tableau workbook, that also can be saved in the Tableau package workbook. And the other thing is the extract. What is extract? Tableau extract, local copy of a subset or entire data set that can be used to share data with others. Need to work offline and improve performance of Tableau dashboards. For example, you send the TWB file, but the person needs the extract as well, so that you can send the local, the copy of that particular extract. For example, whenever you create a Tableau, work on the Tableau professional, that is an extract has been created. That is .hyperfile. You can share that file. That's a data, local copy of the data. The last one is a .tds file. That is nothing but TDS stands for Tableau data source. This is a data source file, are shortcuts for quickly connecting to the original data that often used. Data source file do not contain the actual data, rather they contain the information necessary to connect the data. For example, the data lies on my particular OneDrive. When I share the TDS, the TDS doesn't get the data. It contains the data source where the data is stored and how you can connect it. If you have the access, you can directly connect to the data which is lying on my OneDrive and get the dashboard built. Right? As the name said, data source, it's not a data. Extract is the data, but data source, when I say so, it contains the information about the data source. Is everyone clear with these four extensions, Tableau extensions? So in which we have to do the project, in Tableau or Tableau personal? You need to do the projects in Tableau public only, because Tableau professional, it's not Tableau personal, it's Tableau professional. Tableau professional will cost you around 1 point more than a lakh rupees. You cannot work on that. If you're a student or a teacher, and if you have the .edu or your college email ID, then you can, there is a 1 year free license for, I believe, for the professors or the teaching professionals. You can check on that. I believe there is a free license for them. You can check on that and you can get the license. But the project you can do, project instance, the project which is given by ExcelR and all, you can do it in Tableau public. But at the end of the session, you can check with Amar and Chandana. They are the perfect person to answer this question. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Then the other is a package data source. A package data source is a zip file that contains the TDS file, that is Tableau data source, and also the extract, like the Excel files, Access file, the SSAS files, and everything. So TDS X is a combination of TDS and the .hyper file. So that is called as a package data source. That means data source file as well as the data package. So it's a package data. So it's a combination of TDS and .hyper file, which is the extract. The last one is a bookmark, that is .tbm file. It contains single worksheet and is an easy way to quickly share your work. We want to share a particular page to the user. You can share it as a TBM, which will share a single worksheet to the user. For example, I have 10 worksheets in my workbook or the Tableau dashboard, I can say. It's not dashboard, the Tableau workbook. Normally, the development piece, whenever we publish into the server, we call it as Tableau dashboard. But whenever it's in the normal raw format, we call it as a workbook. So multiple worksheets contribute to a workbook. If you want to share a single worksheet, then you can share it as a bookmark, which is .tbm extension. Is everyone clear with this? If you have any queries, you can post it onto the chat window. If not, let's move on to the next question. Sorry, next slide. Data types in Tableau. As we've seen in Power BI, there are also some data types in Tableau, which is string, which is a text. Can you say Shubham, Shubham 123? Anything which contains text, a number, special character, we call it as a string data type in Tableau. Numerical, any numerical value, like 25 minus 25, 26.7, anything, decimal numbers, negative number, everything forms numerical. The next one is a date format. Any date we can format it to the date format. Date time. Along with date, if you have the times stamp as well, then the data type is called as a date time. Okay. The next one is a Boolean. Boolean is nothing but true or false. Boolean is a data type which is available in Power BI as well. That is called it contains two values, whether it's true or false. That's it. It's called as a Boolean. The last one is a geographical. So whenever you plot anything in the map, you get the exact that particular point in the map, right? For example, if I plot Mumbai, it properly puts a dot inside the Maharashtra state, and that particular location Mumbai is located. So how this particular Tableau or Power BI, any BI to recognizes the position? It's because that particular data type is stored as a geographical. When you store as a geographical, in the back end, its lat long has been captured. What is a lat long? Latitude and longitude. For example, you are sitting in a particular place. That particular place has a lat long to it. You are sitting at X latitude and Y longitude. This is called as a lat long. Every place in the world has a lat long associated to it, by which anyone can locate that particular position. For example, the best example we can see is in Excel, how do we locate a cell? Cell is an intersection of rows and columns. Similarly, here for locating your location, you need latitude and longitude. Okay. Any questions on this data type? If no questions, let's move on to the next one. Dimensions and measures. It's very important topic in the BI world. What are dimensions and what are measures? Dimensions are nothing but qualitative data. What is a quality? Can anybody tell me what is the difference between qualitative data and quantitative data? It's a basic thing in any visualization or the data analysis. Yeah, I got a response. Quantity means amount. Somewhat right, Aisha. Quantity means amount. Quality means quantitative is measured in numbers. Perfect. Yes, qualitative means city, country, name, and all. Quality means, for example, I say this particular person is a very good person, or this particular product is very good, or the length of, or I can say, let's say something like this particular person name of the person is the quality of that particular person, right? Where we cannot do any arithmetic operations. Even though if you do some arithmetic operation, doesn't give you any sense. That is called as a qualitative data. Anything where you cannot do any arithmetic operations like plus, summation, subtraction, average, min, max, and everything. For example, the product name, the product group, the product hierarchy. These are becomes the qualitative data. These are discrete in nature. That means it's not continuous. It's discrete. For example, let's say the name of the students over here. It's discrete. If you plot it, it's not continuous. It's discrete. Cannot, as I told you, you cannot apply any aggregation function except count and county, right? I cannot apply any aggregation function except count and county. For example, I have the names of the people who have joined this session. If I want to count, I can do the count operation, which is kind of an aggregation function. But if I want to sum of the students, that's not possible, right? I cannot sum your names, right? I cannot apply any mini average, minimum, and all we cannot do, right? Example, customer name, country, date. These are dimensions, or I can say qualitative measures, qualitative ones. And the measures are called as quantitative. They are continuous in nature. You can apply any aggregation formula. Like for example, sales, sum of profit, sum of quantity, and so on. Is everyone clear with what is qualitative data and quantitative data? And these are called the dimensional measures in Tableau. Any queries on this? This is most important to understand what is qualitative data and quantitative data. Whenever you start the BI visualization, the first and foremost thing which you used to do is distinguish the data, bifurcate the data based on qualitative and quantitative views. Hope successfully download professional design using EDU ID. Okay, if you can download using the EDU ID, that's good, Harsh. It gives you 1 year free license. You can use that for your training and everything. That's a good thing. Any other person who has a .edu ID, they can download Tableau and practice it for 1 year. I repeat again, dimensions are characteristics. You cannot do any aggregation functions. They are discrete in nature, whereas quantitative are, they are very continuous in nature. You can apply any aggregation function like sum of profit, average of profit, minimum of sales, total quantity, that is sum of quantity, and so on. Then I think I moved first. Okay. You buy 3 products with some cost value. The individual price of each product is non-aggregation. Right? Let's say what it says is when you pay the bill value is aggregated one. Example, sum, average, min. Okay. It's a simple, what it tells you what is aggregation and what is discrete. So let's say you buy three products. Let's say you bought a biscuit for 50 rupees. You cannot apply any aggregation on it. If you apply some of that, it will be again the 50 rupees one. But let's say along with biscuit, you bought chocolates, you bought milks as well. Let's say chocolate for 30 rupees and milk for 20 rupees. Now, if you apply when you pay the total bill, he will sum the price of all the product. That is called the aggregated one. For example, sum, average, min, max, count, county are aggregated functions. Is that clear for everyone? Next, we see what are the operations. So this is a data source view in Tableau. We will see this while we are working with Tableau. The operations we can do is rename, copy values, hide, unhide, aliases. Aliases is nothing but you can, for example, this is ship date or this is ship date. If I want to call this by another name, I can give aliases and say this is the ETA date, day to ship, and so on. I can give a different name. For example, in your house, you might be called with your nickname or the other short name. That is kind of aliases to you. Similarly, in Tableau also, you can create a aliases. For example, sales can be called as revenue as well. You can calculate a field. You can create a group. You can create a bins as well. Grouping in sense, I want to group all the states of the East as a East region, West as West region, and so on. I can create a group bins. So what is the difference between group and bins? Groups, you can group kind of qualitative fields like the states, cities, students, and all. For example, bins, I want to group the age of the students. Like somebody might be from 18 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 35. I creating a kind of bucket. That's called as a bin. So I put each of the students in a particular bin as per the condition. 18 to 25 put it in the first, 25 to 30 in the second, and so on. I can also split a column. When I say split name, and in between you have a space. So with the help of split, I can split that column into two, first name and last name. Instead of one column, I can create a two column with first name and last name. I can pivot the data. I can describe the data. We see all these functionalities in here when we work on the tab. Any questions on this, guys, before we move on to the other slide? Okay, if there are no questions, let's move on to the other. There are two types of connection. One is live connection, the other is a extract. What do you mean by live? Live is a data is connected live to the data source. Whatever gets updated in the data source will get updated in the dashboard as well. That is called as a live data source. What is extract? You go to the data, you pull it into the Tableau. Now the data from the data source is stored in the Tableau. This is called as extract. We are extracting the data from the data source and storing it into the Tableau. That is called as extract. But whenever you want to refresh it, you will again go into the data source. You will extract the data and store it, replace the old data with a newer one. That is called as an extract. As I told you, live is a real-time data flowing from the original source to Tableau. Live data processes queries in source database. So that the ETL and everything, all the queries runs in the source database. By default, the connection is live. That means whatever getting updated in the data source will get updated into desktop as well. With a live connection, the data and the worksheet gets updated, as I told you. Each and every time when the workbook is refreshed or open, it will get updated. Whereas the Tableau data extract, It's a compressed snapshot of the live data stored locally and loaded into the memory. As I told, data will be extracted from the data source and stored it in the Tableau, right? And it's loaded onto the memory. Its ease of connection minimize the load due to complex data. As the data is the extract, there is very less load on the Tableau, right? Because the file is saved locally into the Tableau and did not need to reach every time to the data source. This tends to be much faster than live connection, hence provides an edge when you use the complex visualization. So whenever you use the visualization, each and every time the data is refreshing, the performance gets sampled, right? That's the reason people always prefer the extract data source. Okay, I tell you one more time. Live connection, there's a data source and there's a live connection to it. Okay. That means whatever it's getting updated will get updated into Tableau dashboard as well. This is a live connection. What is extract? I go to the data source. I pick that particular data which I required and I store it into the Tableau space. This is called as an extract. I'm extracting data and storing it in as a local file in Tableau. So whenever I want to refresh it, I want the latest data. I just click on refresh so that it will again go to the data source, get the data and store it into Tableau. And this is called as an extract. It will replace the old data with a newer one. Now you get the latest data. This is called as an extract. Hope it is clear now. If you have any queries, you can post it onto the chat. If not, then let's move on to the next slide. Okay, this is the end of the slide. Now let's download the Tableau public. Sorry, I paste the link over the chat window. Just go to this site and download it. You need to go to this particular site, the link which I given it to. If you click on that particular link, to get this, download the app, click on that, it will get downloaded, then install it. You can also use this particular link. This is also the same thing. No, I'm not sharing anything on the screen now, Aisha. I'm just giving you the link. You download it and install the tab. Then we can start with the building the visualization. Let's see what is the structure of Tableau and so on. Let's do confirm me once you install the Tableau. Then we can start with the Tableau sessions. You have to click download Tableau public. Yes, you need to click on download. Okay, I'll show you the process once again. You need to go to Tableau public. You need the link which I given it to you. You need to paste it over here. Okay, you get this particular screen. Click on Tableau public. Download Tableau public. It will get downloaded. And once it's get downloaded, you need to install it. You need to register it in the Tableau, then only you can use the Tableau public. You need to register it. Just download it from the link which I given it to you now. You should get this particular page. When you click on download, it will ask you to register. Just register over here and click on download the app. The app will be downloaded. Tableau desktop will be, Tableau public will be downloaded. Aisha, I'm not sure whether you can give your business email. If your business approve is, like if you have your own business, then you can put your business email ID. That's completely fine. But if you're using a corporate email ID, do check with your IT team whether you can use it or not. Kanishka, use the link which I given it to you now. You should get a download option. If you are not getting, then you need to refresh your browser and see one more time. Kanishka, I'm not sure why you are not getting the download option. But if you use the link properly, then that's where you get the download option. For example, if you see the screen, you get this particular one. Try switching to another browser because I am helpless on this particular one because normally you get the download option. Rest everyone getting the download option? Anybody facing error similar to Kanishka? Okay. I believe everyone is getting the download option because this is a link which gives the download option. If that's not working, you can go to Google and you can write download Tableau public. Then you click on the first link and download the Tableau public. Download the app. Once you click on that, it will take you this particular screen, download Tableau public, and you need to fill this particular one and download it. Near it will start getting downloaded. Can you see on your top right hand side corner, there is a downloading, something is getting downloaded. And also enable the pop-up for this particular site. Press Ctrl J, you can see whether it's getting downloaded or not. You need not to click on Windows or anything. People who click on download just wanted to see whether it's getting downloaded or not. Press Ctrl J. Yes, you need to give your email ID, then only it will get downloaded. You need to press Ctrl plus J to see your web browser downloaded. The minimum RAM is 4 GB, but it's recommended to have a 8 GB RAM. Wasabi, the Tableau public which you're using as a developer won't work on your mobile. Once you develop and publish onto the this particular Tableau server, then you can view that particular dashboard on your mobile. You cannot develop anything on your mobile. People who have completed downloading it, do confirm me. If I get a good amount of confirmation, I will start with the Tableau public. Lakshmi Devi, it's your processor. It's not enough for the Tableau public. Then your system might, the processor might be pretty outdated. That's the reason giving you the error. Uh, you, we cannot do anything on this. You need to change your laptop. Kanishka, what is screenshot? Thank you for downloading Tableau Public Edition. So just press Control J and check whether it's getting downloaded or not. Once it gets downloaded, you just install it. Okay, guys, I believe most of you has installed this. I give another 2 minutes for the people to install it. We will start the session, the Tableau public after 2 minutes. I can see few of them still facing the error onto the screen. Yes, restart the system once. Restart the system once. If you're asking for the restart, please restart your system. Yes, project. Once you install it, you will get that particular. Okay, guys, I believe everybody has installed. Let's open the Tableau public, which we installed. Tableau public. You can get a, I believe you might have the version of 23.3 version. Mine is a little outdated. So first of all, when you open the Tableau public, you get this particular screen. Okay. And now we need to get the data into the Tableau public, right? So for that, what I do, I go to Microsoft Excel and I select the same data set which we used yesterday, the sample superstore. We will be using the same sample superstore data set which we used yesterday. I just click on that so that it gets imported into the Tableau public. Guys, it's the same file which we used yesterday for dashboard preparation. It's nothing different. It's the same file. You can find it in the LMS as well. You can go to the LMS and download it if don't have that particular data set. But it's the same Excel file which we used yesterday. There's nothing different. Just import this particular data into the Tableau. Yes, it's not like that. And the Power BI is faster or this is faster. Both have their own processing speeds. Okay. Hope everybody has imported this particular data. Now I want the orders table. So what I do, I put the orders table into data source. Just drag the table and put it onto this particular pane. So you will see all the data which is there in the this particular table, row ID, order ID. If I want to change the data type, for example, this orders ID, I want to give aliases, I can give aliases. If I want to display, I want to have a calculator field, I can have the calculator field as well. I can want to hide this particular column, I can hide it as well. Okay. If I want to change the format from number to string, that is text, I can change that as well. Can you see? Now it's changed to text. So now you can see all the things like order ID, order date, ship mode, customer ID, customer name, and so on. You can see all the things. This particular globe signifies it's a location data. It's a geographical location. ABC means text. This globe symbol means geographic location. And if I go to my right, if you get this hash symbol, you mean to say it's a numeric. It has numbers and decimals. If I want to change it to whole number or decimal number, I can change. For example, the quantity. If I want to change it to decimal, I can change it to decimal. Can you see? Now it's placed in the decimal, but normally quantities are sold in whole number. So I keep it as whole. Also get all the things, the profit and everything. Is everybody clear? What is the use of this data bin? Here you can validate whether data is in proper format or not. Okay. Now let's build a small visualization first. And let's see what are the things which we have. First of all, let's go to data source. This is a connection. This is the connection to data. So we are connected to a Microsoft Excel. That's the reason. And in Microsoft Excel, the file name is sample superstore. This is the connection. And you have data interpreter. For example, data interpreter is normally used when yesterday we seen in Power BI, we seen that we have not used the first row as header. So if you want that things to be automated, the normal data cleanse, data transformation step or the data massaging steps needs to be automated, you can use this data interpreter. It will clean the data. If you want to view the results of the same, you just click on the results. It will show you the result. What are the cleansing steps it has done in a Excel. Can you see the data is interpreted as a column header? Data is interpreted as values in your data. So that means it has given the proper data type. Data derived from Excel. Merge cell interpreted as a value in a data source. If there is a merge cell in Excel, it interpreted as a value and so on. So you can get all the things over here. This is kind of a legend or the identifiers. Here, if you see, this is, can you see this particular symbol? Data is interpreted as column headers. All the headers are marked. This has been marked as a column header and so on. The returns also the same thing. You get all the steps, data cleansing steps, which Tableau has applied onto the data. If I want to remove it, I just remove it. So I get the original data. Is it clear for everyone what is data interpreter? Okay. Let's move on to the sheet. So here also you see the category as text, the locations as geolocations and so on. Okay. Oh, I see some. Okay, I will explain the data interpreter again. Data interpreter is nothing but an automated way of data cleansing. So if I use the data interpreter, if there are any rows which is missing, that all things will be cleaned. For example, if there is data is not in a proper data type and all, it will be marked in a proper data type. It's an automated way of cleaning the data. Can you see? Data is interpreted as column headers. If you have a column header, that will be interpreted as a column header. Data is interpreted as values derived from Excel merge cell and so on. Can you see this? So these are the ones. So if you see this particular comment onto your right, you see this has been interpreted as header, this has been interpreted as data and so on. And similarly for this particular table also. So it's cleansing the data for you. Instead of you going and manually cleansing the data, the Tableau itself is cleansing the data for you. Is it clear now? Okay, now let's understand the view first. Let's understand the view. This is a visual view where you build the visual. From here, you can change the view, whether you want to fit to width, whether the visual should be fit to width, fit to height, or entire view. Or normally we can select the standard. This is called as a marks card. We will go in deep what are the marks card over here, what is the use of it. But right now we will keep we will understand this is just a marks card. This is the data pane where you see these are the qualitative ones and these are the quantitative ones. It's separated with the help of the line. By default, Tableau identifies what are the qualitative measures and quantitative measures. Okay. Now I will come to this particular one pages later. Filters. If you want to apply some filters onto the data, you can put that particular field over here. For example, if I want to apply filter onto the category, then I just put the category over here. I say all and say OK. So that there's a filter over here. I can apply filter. This is a filter page. I just remove it for now. From where I open this particular page, you must be in the data source page. There is sheet 1. Just click on it. It's a sheet where you build the visualizations. Okay. Is everyone clear what is the visualization pane is all about? Okay. These are the one which is most important, that the marks pane. We will understand this by building the visual. If I tell you now, you won't be able to connect it. But when we build the visualization, I will explain each one of them. Okay. Now let's build a simple bar chart or the column chart. I want subcategory wise sales. Can you see this show me option? Just click on that. It will show you the visuals which are possible based on your selection. I select, I want subcategory wise. I want subcategory wise sales. This is the two ones which I want. I can use this particular bar chart or this column chart or a pie chart. Let's create a simple pie chart one. Sorry, it's subcategory, right? I cannot create a pie chart. I can create this particular bar chart. Can you see subcategory wise bar chart I got over here? If how do I created this? I can show you one more time. I show you one more time. I selected subcategory into the rows, and in columns I select the sales. That's it. The other way is you can select subcategory and sales with the help of control. And if you go to show me option, it will show you all the visuals which are possible to show this one measure and one dimension. Can you see one measure and one dimension? Just click over here and you get the visualization. That's it. You get this particular visualization. This is a simple bar chart, but the values are not sorted. So I will sort from descending to ascending, top to bottom. So can you see phones are the ones which are the most number of sales, followed by chairs, storage, tables, binders, and so on. Can you guys create this particular visual? I will show you how to create it one more time. I just delete this, put subcategory into rows and sales into columns. You get this particular visualization. Okay, now I want from top to bottom. I just use this particular button, that is sort descending by sum of sales within subcategory. I click on that, I get this particular visual. Is it clear for everyone? Can you guys create this particular visualization on your own? Okay, guys, hope everybody has created this visualization. Now, if I want to put the labels to it, if I want to put the labels to this particular one, I just pick up sales and put it inside the label. Can you see? Then here you can see color, size, label, detail, tooltip. I just pick the sales and put it onto the labels. So can you see labels over here? Labels are applied onto it, right? So if I want the labels, I just drag this particular sales. For time being, I will remove it to show you again. I drag the sales and put it onto the labels. The labels will be applied onto the visualization. We just try to put the labels. Once you put the labels, I want to color this particular bars by profit. I want to color the bars by profit. Wherever the profit is higher, I want a green color. Where the profit is lower, I want a red color. Okay, so what I do is put this particular profit onto the colors. So can you see there are two colors? Wherever there is negative, that means a darker shade of this particular orange color. Wherever this profit is higher, you have this darker shade of blue color. If I want to edit it, I just click over here. I say edit colors. Here I can use a stepped color as well. I need a two-step color. Okay. The palette I can select anything like green and red and green, and so on. I can see red, green diverging. I say okay. So can you see wherever it's negative, wherever the sales, wait, I can edit it. If I go to advanced, I get the center. Center I put 0. That means anything up above, anything in the minus, it will be red color. Anything which is greater than 0 will have green color. Negative numbers will be on the red color. The positive numbers will be on the green color. And you see table is negative, you get a red color. Bookcases is negative, you get a red color. Supplies is negative, you get a red color. Wherever it's negative, you get the red color. I will show you one more time how to get this. Put profit into the colors. Click on this particular one, but and say edit colors. And you select the stepped color and select two steps because we want negative to be red, positive to be green. So what we do, we take two steps. And inside the palette, you select red, green diverging because we need red and green. Okay. And go to advanced, click on advanced, and in the center, you put 0 so that 0 will act as a center for the color. Anything less than 0, red color, anything greater than 0, green color, and say okay. It will be applied. You see a good red and green color which depicts the profit. Wherever it's a negative profit, you see a red color. Wherever it's a positive one, you see a green color. Is it clear for everyone? Can you guys try this one? Is everyone completed this? Okay. Then we will move on to the next visual. That is a line graph. For line graph, I need a continuous measure. I can take the order date, this one, and sales, which is this one. Okay, now I go to show me and I click on this particular line graph. I want this particular one. So can you see? I can see year-wise sales. I can see the year-wise sales. If I want the month-wise, year and month, I can just expand it. It's quarter. Now it will move on to the month-wise sales. For each and every month, what was the sales I can see over here. Can you see it's gradually increasing year on year? Can you see it's gradually increasing year on year sales is? If I want the data labels, I can put it onto the data labels over here, right? So here also we have one more thing for analytics. If I want to put the average line throughout this one, I can put a average line to it across the table. So average, my sales is 47,858. Average monthly sales is 47,858. I can put an average line as well. Can you guys create this particular visualization? It's as simple. In columns, I put this particular order date, rows, sum of sales, and data labels. I added it, and I added an average line as well. We show the average sales per month. Can you guys create this visualization? And do confirm me once you completed this. Is everyone completed this? Okay, if you guys completed this, let's move on to the next visualization. We will see 3 to 4 visualizations today. Then tomorrow we will see the custom visualizations. Sir, month show, please. How to get month? Okay. If you put the order date over here, where is my order date? Here I go for the order date. Normally it's year. If you click plus, it will go one down to quarter. Okay. If you click one, you go on to the month. You put order date, and in the show me, you select this particular visualization. That is a continuous one. Now, if you click on plus, it will go to quarter. If you click on month, plus again, it will go on to the month. This is how you create the visualization. And if you want to put the data labels, put it into the labels. And if you want to put the average line, put the average line onto the pane. So this is how you create this visualization. Okay. Next, we will go on to the next set of visualization. Let's create the another one, that is subcategory wise sales. Let's put subcategory and sales. And in the show me, I select these three highlight tables. Or I can use these three tables, tree map, sorry. I can use a tree map. So here I get, so can you see it's automatically created this particular things that is in rows and column. I don't have anything. I put text into the subcategory, in the text I put subcategory. In colors I put sum of sales, which is diverging, and the size also I put sum of sales. So now I see wherever the sales is higher, the colors are dark, and the size of that particular square or rectangle, it's much bigger. Can you see this one? The same kind of visualization yesterday we created in Power BI. Same thing we're creating over here as. If I want the sales also in the date labels, I can put sales as well, so that I can see each and every sales. If you see this particular two boxes, it's nearly the same size, because see the sales, that is hardly 2K, 2000 rupees difference. Not 2000, it's less than 2000. So that says I see these two boxes exactly the same size. If I want to change the color, go to edit color, and I can choose a different color as kind of a bluish. Is it clear how to create a tree map? Okay, I will explain you one more time. I just remove everything. I select this particular tree map. I put subcategory into the text. Okay. I put sales into the color, and I put sales into the size as well. Now by default, this tree map is enabled. Earlier, this was not enabled. If I remove this particular tree map is not enabled, right? Because it doesn't have the required fields. If I put sales into the color, and you see the tree map is enabled. Now it automatically put the sales into the size as well, right? If I want the sales in the data labels, I can put it. Now I see a good tree map. Is it clear now for everyone? Okay, just try it out if you. And one more thing which I forgot to tell you is you can edit the sheet name as well. For example, let's give the name as tree map. So this is a sheet name. So whatever you type over here, it will come onto this. If you want a custom name, for example, normal sheet name will appear over here. But if you want to give a custom name, delete this sheet name. I say sales by subcategory. I can even put my custom name as. I say okay. So I get the name as sales by subcategory. Hope it's clear for everyone. Just try it out. Yes, Sushan, we can have the percentage of sales as well instead of number, but that requires a calculation. You will see while we are doing the calculation, how to get the percentage of food. Let me know once you completed this, then we'll see the next set of visualizations. Yes, it's bit easy as compared to Power BI. As I told you, I feel this is more user friendly than Power BI, but it comes with a cost. We need to pay a good premium for this particular user friendliness. Even the UI is better, as I told earlier, the UI is better than Power BI. Even you can more customize the visualizations. You can put images inside the visualization. There are many functionality which are not there in Power BI. But only one thing which puts Tableau in the backstage is the cost. Okay. So let's create a scatter plot. We created a scatter plot in Power BI. Similarly, let's see how do we create a scatter plot in this particular tab. Let's select sales. Let's select profit, and let's select the subcategory. I select the visualization scatter. See, these are the ones which are negative profit, which are tables, bookcases, and this is supplies. Let me put the subcategory labels into the labels. Okay. So I got this particular one, which is a kind of scatter plot. I get different colors for the each and every subcategory. And if I want to size this particular bubbles as per the sales, I can use this, put sales inside the bubbles so that I get the proper sizing. So wherever the sales is lower, you get a small bubble. And if you want to increase the size to a little bit, you can use this particular. You can see tables has good amount of sales, but it's in the negative profit. Machines also good amount of sales, but very less profit, right? So this is how we create a scatter plot. As I told you, what is the inference you get from scatter plot is you can compare two of the KPIs or two of the quantitative measures together in a visual, identify which are the best performing and which are the least performing. The more higher and goes to the right, that's the best performing in our case. For example, where the sales is higher and the profit is also higher, that means it should go to a good height and also to the right side. That means we are making good profit and sales with that particular subcategory or the product. Is it clear for everyone how to create a scatter plot? Just create this particular scatter plot, then I will show you how to get get a play axis. In Power BI, we added the play axis, right? Where you get year-on-year sales, you get a kind of animation. Similarly, we can do it in Tableau as well. I will show you. Just complete this one, then I will show you how to add that. And if you want to change this shape, you can also change the shape as well. If I want to put a round, you can you can change the shapes as well. And if you want a more shape, you can go to more shapes and you can select the particular shapes over here. Fill shape, the portions and all. You can change the shape as well. Is everybody completed this? So it shows profit as only a sales column is selected. How this can be possible? Here can you see sales? Here can you see profit? We are highlighting the things based on the sales. We are sized as per the sales, but in the columns and rows we are selected profit. Now let's see how to add a play axis to it. No problem, Harsh. You can ask n number of queries. Sometimes might be simple. You might not notice this. That's completely fine. Even I do that. If I don't notice it, normally even I ask the simple question. No need to sorry for that. Okay. Now let's add the play axis. First of all, for adding the play axis, I need the order date. Here is my order date. I just put it onto the pages. Order date, I drag and put it onto the pages. Okay. Here, can you see? If I click on show history, and if I click on play, so here I can play with the help of this particular button. So once I put it, it will show the play. For example, I clicked over here. Can you see? It's showing sheet for 2014. And if I click over here, it goes to 2017. Can you see it's 2016 and moving on? 2015. Now it's going to the backwards. If I click over here, it will go to front. 2015. Now it will move on to 2016. Now it will move on to the 2017. Okay. If I want to bring it back, I just bring it back and I say play. If I click on to the play, it will move from 2014 to 15, 15 to 16, 16 to 17, and so on. This is how you make the play button work. If I click it again, it will start again. 14, then it will move on to 15 and so on. So can you add a play axis and try it how it works? You just play around with it. You just click on this, it will move forward. If you click on this particular backward button, it will move towards the backward. And this is for the speeds. If you select this one, this is at a slower speed. Can you see? It's bit at a slower speed. And if you select this one, the middle one, it's a medium speed. And if you select this one, it's at a faster pace. Can you see? 14, 15, 16. It goes at a zip. And if you select this one, it's a medium speed. 14, 15, 16, and 7. Is it clear for everyone? So how this slicer is come? Which one? This one? I put it onto the page. Once I remove year from the pages, that particular slicer has gone. Once I put order date, that is year onto the page, you get this slicer. If I want, instead of year, I want month, I can use month as well. If I click onto it, you can see January to December. You can see how it's getting performed. You can add anything, year, month, date, and everything. So I just click on it. It will start. If you can reduce the speed, you can click onto it. So now it's little bit slower. So you can see month on month, what is the trend. Can you guys try this one? Do confirm me once you completed this. Explain you one more time how to give colors to this particular shapes. Is put subcategory into the colors. This particular shapes will be colored. How to size this particular shapes? It's put sales or profit, whichever you want. You put it onto the size. It will size as per sum of shapes. How do you change this particular shape? From here, go click on shape. You can change the shape. Hope it's clear now. How this particular workbook can be saved? Press Ctrl S. It will ask for the login credentials, the username and password. Once you click on save, it will ask for your username and password. Okay. While registering for Tableau Public, you might have given some username and password. Enter that. It will get saved onto the Tableau Public. Yes, search. Yes, it's enough for today. Tomorrow we will see the custom visualization, how to create a custom visualization in Tableau. I know today being a first session, it's a bit loaded, but as I told you, Tableau is very easy to create visualizations. That's the reason we covered up so much. How do you save it? Save to Tableau Public. It will get saved onto the Tableau Public. You need to, it will pop up you for a sign in page. Just enter your username and password and it will get saved. That's it. Okay, guys, let's now move on to the Q&A part. If you have any queries, you can just post it onto the chat. I will try to resolve that. How graph lines come? What do you referring to graph lines? Is it the line graph? In the show me, you have that particular line graph. You just need to select. Sir, Tableau is commonly used in where? It's not commonly used. Some industry uses Tableau. There is no specific like this particular category of industry only use Tableau. Many industries use the Tableau. I entered the data sum or profit. How to get? I haven't understood Rajni, what exactly you are trying to convey. I entered the data sum or profit. How to get the graph lines? Okay, are you trying to find the average line? In the analytics, you can put an average line. Go to analytics. The similar one which you put on the line graph, you can put it over here as well, the average line. For scatter plot, do we need to select product, sales, and subcategories? No, it's not product. Say you need to add two quantitative measures. One is sales and profit, sales and quantity, or profit and quantity. Any two quantitative measures and one qualitative measures for scatter plot to appear on your show me. No need to drag into rows and columns. No, you can drag into rows and columns as well. But if you select, it will show you all the visuals which are applicable for that particular selected the qualitative measures and quantitative measures. Okay, guys, if there are no questions, let's conclude the session for today. And okay, on both ways, yeah, you can create visuals on both ways. One is a shortcut, the other is a normal, uh, I can say a bit customized way. You can create visuals on both ways. Okay, guys, let's conclude the session for today. If you have no questions, I'll be there for next 2 to 3 minutes. If you have any question, you can post it on the chat window. And if you have any questions for Chandana, she is available regarding the ExcelR and the EDL session. You can post it for you. Thanks everyone for your time. Have a great night.
Thank you, Balaji.
Thanks, Chandana.
Hope you guys enjoyed the session. Please let me know, is there any questions for me? I hope there is no more questions. I didn't get any questions from YouTube and Zoom as well. Kala, but I'm unable to active attendance link. I'm sharing the attendance. Please try again. It is working actually.
No, Harsh, I cannot share my contact number, any details. The only way you can reach out to me or you can solve it queries is reach out to the ExcelR, EDL, ExcelR team. There is an email ID as well, and in the website also you have the chatbot where you can post your queries.
Balaji, I have to say one thing. Like, if you want, means you can share your LinkedIn with them.
Okay, I can share that.
Yeah, you can share that.
Yeah.
Vidyashree, ma'am, may I know the reason why my progress is showing 0 out of 18? I didn't get your question. Where you, it is showing like a 0 out of 18? Jyotika, if you don't have any query, you can leave. Dr. T.R. Srinivas, it's showing in LMS. Okay. I don't know for that. Top right corner, it's showing 18. Wait a minute, I'll check. Vidyashree, for me, it is not showing anything. Gayatri, send me the attendance link. Yes, Gayatri, I'm sharing it. Okay. You are asking 0 to 18. Actually, this is a ExcelR platform, right? You can learn 0 to infinity. I thought 0 to 18. Like you can learn from 0 to infinity. Like you can gain knowledge like that. Harsh, ma'am, the last day test syllabus is about the training. Yes, Harsh. I'm referring to this progress bar in our LMS, which shows no 0 of 13. No, it is not like that. 0 to 8. It is not 18 at all. It's a infinity symbol. Madhumita, ma'am, while completing the attendance, it's showing the 0% progress, ma'am, as I'm attending daily class. No, Madhumita, don't worry about that. You don't like you can't able to see that. We can see that. So end of the program, you can know that how much percentage you got. Okay, no need to take any tension. Vidyashree, I will clarify your question tomorrow class, okay? If you don't mind. Kalabai, all videos are available on YouTube now, ma'am. We can activate anytime. In YouTube, I don't know about that. LMS, you will get all videos. So there is no more questions. Okay, then we'll wind up the session for today. Thank you for joining. We'll meet you on the tomorrow, same place and same time. Up to then, take care of yourself, be hydrating. Have a great night. Bye bye. Kirti, where should I register my name, madam? Uh, Means I didn't get your question. Like you have to, for what you are asking? Kalabai, do I need to download LMS app? No, no, Kalabai. Like first class, if you had attended, means that time you got to know that what is the LMS and how to register in LMS. Okay. Okay, then we'll wind up the session for today. Thanks for joining.